Well, it looks like Mike Wiesner and Eduardo Simone are the first, and Tarek are the first to sign on. How are you guys doing? We have a really cool video coming up that's from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. So we've been like inundated with so much stuff about JWEST that, you might think that that's the only thing that's going on, but we have, I think it's over 20 active, maybe more than 20 active solar system space missions going on right now.
Yeah, they did the same
Crazy.
thing. It's not letting.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize how much we've got going on and how busy the Mission Control Center is at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Because you got all these teams coming in there, coordinating their time, collecting data, everything from, Viking orbiters that are out of our solar system to rovers to, there's like 3 or 4 orbiting, constantly orbiting spacecraft going around Mars. And I think the reconnaissance orbiter has been orbiting for more than 10 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you don't, well, I don't watch the news anyways. I don't have any of that. I just don't have a regular TV, but I mean, I wouldn't even think that you probably, even on social media, you don't see any of that information.
Not really. It's not like until something really, earth shattering happens, that.
Yeah.
That'll give you the file that I've been trying to give you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eduardo's talking about
Already said it.
Jupiter. That's right.
It'll actually have both. It'll have the old configuration.
Well, but a lot of
and it'll
people
have the
had
new
even
one,
forgotten that the Mars
universal
reconnaissance
firmware
orbiter
configuration tool.
was working.
Um,
We hear Tyler loud and clear.
Sorry, I just muted him.
Yeah, there's the Artemis mission that's studying the effect of solar wind on the moon, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which you've already talked about.
The crater in the center of this high-rise image defines where zero longitude is on Mars, like the Greenwich Observatory does for the Earth. Originally, the larger crater that this crater sits within, called Airy Crater, defined zero longitude for the red planet. But as higher resolution images became available, a smaller feature was needed. This crater, called Airy 0, was selected because it would require no adjustment of existing maps. These days, longitude on Mars is measured even more precisely using radio tracking of landers, such as InSight, but everything is still defined to keep zero longitudes centered on this crater.
This image right here that you're seeing is a beautiful Milky Way shot that Mike Wiesner just sent to us. It is
Got the thing.
Tyler poking his
Oh, wait,
head
it's
in.
the delay. Never mind. It's the delay.
Because everybody was saying hi to me.
But this image, I wanted to show everybody what the skies are going to be like at the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party that's coming up September 21st through the 25th at Oracle State Park. And we'll be there with of course, our equipment, but with David Levy and, a number of people that you've seen on our program. So that's going to be something you're going to want to sign up for as soon as we get all the pricing and everything all figured out. We are, I am supposed to go out there on February 25th, I think, and see there's going to be a local star party just so I can get the lay of the land and everything, but it's going to be, it should be a great star party. Oracle State Park is Arizona's first dark sky park from the International Dark Sky Association. So I just wanted to give you a shot of, upcoming attractions for that. Today, normally we would have Kent on, but Kent is very busy. I brought Annie on so we could talk about the Explorer Alliance. We could catch up with Annie's adventures in astrophotography a little bit, and then we could talk about the fact that February 15th is Galileo's birthday, and so we're kind of celebrating that. We have So he'll be only 458 years old, something like that.
Only, no big deal.
No big deal. No big deal. So, Galileo is a very interesting character. The more I read about Galileo, the more my eyebrows kind of raise up. The story that most people know is that Galileo wrote something called the Starry Messenger. Okay. And that in that book, he basically said that that the planets revolved around the sun, which is the Copernican model. Okay, Copernicus dies about 20 years before Galileo is born. Okay, but Galileo likes his ideas and the way things work, and observationally, and so in Galileo's time. If you had someone of authority who said that they understood more about the universe or anything, okay, then just on a matter of faith, and how we see that even in today's society, but on a matter of faith, we just believe that person, okay?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not that you went out and did your own observations or studied it yourself or figured it out yourself. You just took an authority figure. Well, that authority, that was basically all of so-called science back in those days. And Galileo, as you read more about him, you'll realize that the guy had a number of faults. Okay, but he was a genius. He was brilliant, and so he's called the father of observational astronomy, and also the father of science. That's how Albert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyhow, but we are also the makers of the Galileo scope. But instead of just putting the Galileo scope on sale, we decided that we're going to put a lot of things on sale. So if you guys are listening right now and you have favorite dealers for Explore Scientific products, there's going to be a sale that is going to be very, very special, very deep discounts and stuff. And dealers Don't even know it yet. The mailing is going out today, so you're the first to know out here. I'm likely to get a phone call from a dealer saying, how do customers know before we know? So I'm not giving you prices over the air. I'm not going to tell you exactly which items they are. Okay. But you're going to be happy with what we're doing. I can tell you telescopes, mounts, and eyepieces are going to be on sale. I think it's appropriate to celebrate Galileo. He gave, we still celebrate him in many ways. And his effects are still being felt in the scientific community today. So there you go. But let's go back and talk about Explore Alliance. It's been a little while. When was the last time you were on the air, Annie?
Oh, it feels like a million years, but
A million years. Okay.
That's what it feels like. But it's been a
Couple
few weeks. I think it's been a
Few
couple
weeks?
of weeks. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So, we've unfortunately had to. Some of us have had to quarantine. Some of us have not been here. So we've.
Yep.
Well, I've
Yeah.
been in quarantine as well, but so
Yeah, but you didn't have COVID, right? You didn't.
No, no. My children were exposed, so I did the appropriate thing and quarantined with everybody. But yeah, so it's been a while. I mean, we missed all last week, so it's been a while. I don't even remember the last time I was on. It really does feel like a million years, but I don't think it actually has been. But anyway, so Explore Alliance, we still have our Meteor astrophotography contest going on. I haven't looked to see how many submissions we have. So we've got that going through the end of the month. So make sure you get those submitted if you want to partake in that. And then the calendar I haven't unfortunately have not been able to keep up with like I should, but we have some exciting things coming up. Scott, did you ever figure out what they were going to do about the Winter Star Party? Did you ever?
It got canceled.
Well, they're not even going to do virtual or anything.
Yeah, they're not, and they're not doing it virtual. They thought they were going to do it up all the way until they, kind of pulled the plug. Not last minute, but it was like just a few weeks before, and so they didn't really have time to do the kind of production quality.
Oh yeah,
for the virtual,
Yeah.
And they sent people out to the Florida Keys with a videographer, and they did a bunch of stuff and put together a ton of stuff. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
For the virtual.
I can imagine.
They really weren't ready for it, so it's put off until next February. Okay.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Which was a bummer for a lot of people. But they, in talking to Russ Brick, who's the president of the Southern Cross Astronomical Society, they really felt the consensus was they were doing the right thing. It was said that, it's kind of like an explosion of COVID.
Yeah.
We had it here in Arkansas, and it's happened around the country. So.
Yeah. I mean, it is hitting the country really hard right now. And so I totally understand people kind of stepping back and trying to keep distance, just trying to stay safe and healthy.
The distance needs to be like 100 miles away from other people.
Which I don't think we have. I don't think we have enough room for that. I don't
think so either. Here's an interesting fact, though. You could take all the human beings in all over the world, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you stacked them up, and you'd have to like layer them one on top of the other, but they could pretty much all fit in the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow.
Right? So over 90% of the Earth is uninhabited.
Wow.
Now,
wow, that's crazy to think about.
Less than 10% that we do inhabit, we've made a mess of. So we just don't know, we haven't figured out all the things we need to figure out yet, but we're getting there.
We're slowly
getting
getting there.
Yeah.
We're slowly getting there. So, but yeah, we're going to be back to our regular programming this week. You know, we have On the Wing tomorrow, unless Kent's going to be too busy for that.
We'll make him do it.
You have to do it. And then,
Right.
and then Friday is a focus on
He's gonna be able
astrophotography. Focus on astrophotography with Tyler on Friday.
Tyler,
And then
you're going to be on that show, I think. So
I was told that I was going to be on that show 5 minutes
yeah,
before
just
this
minutes
show.
ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
And then we'll continue on with the regular scheduling programs. And then in February, we have our Astronomical League Live number 13. It looks like we have one on, what day is that? February 18th. So, and then those will start kicking off. So we have those going. I think are they once a month? Is that what they are?
They're
Scott?
once a month. Because I had COVID,
Mhm.
they canceled January's.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we have, we'll run through December. We've got all the Astronomical League Live programs listed out through the 23rd, or not the 23rd, but December, which will be their 23rd episode. So, and Terry Mann always puts together a really great program, has a great speaker, you know, that's on there. So that's exciting. We are, Mike Wiesner and I are still working on the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party, as I mentioned. So that will be the September 21st to the 25th is that weekend. So that's kind of a dark of the moon weekend. And then the first part of September, if everything goes off right, we're supposed to be in Yerevan. Is it Armenia? Is that where it is? It will be the Starmus event.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Okay.
Explore Scientific is supposed to be the Star Party coordinator for that.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
you know, hopefully we don't have COVID anymore by that time, because there's supposed to be something like 50,000 people.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
How long it would take
Yeah.
to get here.
So,
I don't
I'm
think
gonna
we
vaccines on both shoulders,
we-
one in my
we-
eye, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. You said everybody had to be 100 miles apart. So then you're gonna have to make sure that everybody's 100 miles apart. Be stretched out all over the world.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
goodness. But yeah.
Armenia. Thank you, Harold. Yeah. And Billy's Astro is talking about the How Do You Know program. That is coming back on January 31st, so next week. Okay.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Monday will be Daniel's first program of the year. So,
What are you asking, Ken?
and what else is going on?
Yeah, the 640.
I think that's pretty much, well, in April, we have the North Astronomy Forum. We have NEAF.
Northeast Astronomy Forum, that's right.
And then July, the Nebraska Star Party will be going on. In October, there's
Almost certain to go off, because they conducted Nebraska Star Party last year. So it's one of the few actual star parties, big star parties that went off last year.
Yeah. And then in October, Okie Tech Star Party will be going on. So and I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll have other things that we'll be throwing in there as time goes on and stuff like that. So anyway, so we'll be adding those to the calendar and getting those updated and things like that. So, but pretty much everything's the same. Hopefully more members will start seeing their certificates. Well, I just mailed out almost 100 of them again this week. So hopefully those will be received, and you guys can get those mounted wherever you want them to be mounted at in your house. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with the Explore Alliance stuff.
Right.
So,
Tarek was asking why is Starmus going to be in Armenia? Of course, the coordinators decided it was going to be there, but the reason why is it's such a huge event. Okay, it's like a citywide event that a city had to approve doing it, and so the coordinators for that live in the Canary Islands. They're they're professional physicists and astronomers and stuff that coordinate this thing. It was actually one of the founders was also Stephen Hawking. So he was on the original founding board of that. And it's all about music and physics and astronomy. And so before some of the early programs that they did, I think this is the 6th one, they had it to where it was pretty elitist. It was pretty expensive to go. And, mostly the people that went were physicists, professionals that went to this thing. Now they've opened it up to the public and they're embracing amateur astronomers, which is cool. And so Garrick Israelian is the guy I'm working with, and he's, I think, the original founder of Starmus. And so Brian May from Queen will be there. Other people that might be there might be like Peter Gabriel. Some well-known rock stars will be there. So it'll be very cool.
Sounds really cool. Sounds really, really cool. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of.
And Explore Scientific.
Yes.
And the Explore Alliance.
Yes, and the Explore Alliance. Yes,
and
yes.
I've been told I can broadcast live from Armenia. So they have a high-speed internet connection.
Oh, yay.
So we'll try to get Brian May on there to talk about, why he loves the stars. So
that's cool. Awesome. So then we can take all of our audience with us, and everybody can just go with us.
That's right. Or you can just fly out there and meet me there. So that'd be cool too. They're lowering the price to I think it's less than $100 to go to this thing now, where it was.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it was $1,000 to $2,000 to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So,
but you do have to get yourself out to Armenia. So that's the other part. But hotels are cheap. So there you go.
What a wonderful trip to go. What a wonderful vacation to go on.
Yeah, that's right, Annie.
Vacation. What is a vacation?
I had a COVID-cation, recently, so it's not much of a vacation.
I don't like being stuck in the house. That drives me nuts. Being quarantined drives me insane. I don't like it. So yeah. So then we're going to talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing, and I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So show us your.
So Tyler, I'm just going to say, Tyler's amazing. He took my
SLR.
Canon Rebel. He actually heard me say that. Dang it.
If Tyler's going to be jumping in, he just has to join us on the show.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You can't jump inside of your camera or,
He actually ran away. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So he took my Canon Rebel XS, and he had the sensor modified on it. Took the what did he? The
IR blocking filter.
Blocking filter.
Infrared.
I'm totally new to this. So he had that done. So I was so excited to get it out and take pictures with it the other night. And so I stuck it on my IXOS 100. And I got it all aligned, or you don't really have to line it up. I just pointed it north. I've never polar aligned it. And so I just started playing around with it. And
now, was it tracking? Did you have it tracking turned on?
I don't know. I do know. I tried to take pictures of the moon and I zoomed in on it. And next thing I know, it was gone. So I'm going to say,
probably not tracking.
Probably not tracking.
Not even turned on. Okay.
No.
All right.
So I was just ready to take, and it was cold, and having a 5-year-old inside the house and coming out of the house and inside the house, I was, I was just trying to take some photos. So, because I wanted to see the difference in this, because I've taken pictures before and they were, anyways, I was shocked. So I'm going to show you my photo I took.
Do we need a drum roll or anything? Let's see.
Can you see it?
Yes.
So this is my photo I took with my Canon Rebel XS, and I used I think that the lens was a 135 millimeter lens. I think it was like a 75 to 135. I can't remember. I don't have it with me. But yeah, so that's, I mean,
Yeah, you got Orion, you got the belt, you got the sword.
I
and
was,
you got a little tiny Orion Nebula shot.
yeah, so it was really cool because I took it in, I took all these photos, and this is like 10 shots, and I don't even know what the what the shutter, I don't even know what, I don't know how, it's under a minute. I mean, but that's what happens when you have a child and you're trying to just,
You're trying to do
and
astrophotography.
it's freezing outside.
Yeah.
And two, my camera, the dovetail I have for my camera, it didn't want to screw in properly. And so my camera every now and then would just turn, and I'm like, crap, every single time. So anyway, so I was just trying to hurry up.
You got some nice comments here. Eduardo Simone says, "What's tracking?" ? Harold says, "That's very cool." And Beatrice says, "Nice one. My first Orion was similar like that." So
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Actually, your shot of Orion, your first shot of Orion is way better than mine. I mean, so pretty good.
Yeah. I took those photos and then I stacked them. I think they're 10, and then I stacked them in my Adobe Lightroom. And so it was really cool when I showed him to Daxton. He goes, "What's that pink thing, Mommy?" And I said, "I don't know." I had to message Tyler. I'm like, "What is that?" And he said, "That's Orion's Nebula." I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Now, was it cold when you took the shot, or do you remember?
Yes. Oh, it was freezing. I learned that
I mean, it's been getting like down to like 24 at night, something like that.
I had left my camera and my mount out probably for about 2 hours. When I took these photos, before I took these photos. But yeah, I'm real, I try to, that's one thing that I've learned from Tyler is to set your stuff out. And that's the hardest part is I'm impatient. I'm used to just picking up a camera and just taking photos. So to have to sit and wait is a little bit frustrating at times, but it is what it is. So, but now that I have that, I went ahead and brought in my ED80 and it's here. We've been piecing together an image train.
Wow.
So,
image train. That's,
yeah.
You're learning all the lingo.
Well, I actually know how I can tell somebody how to put one together, but I've never done it.
Okay.
So
you are now.
I'm gonna learn. Yes, so I'm gonna be hands-on. In fact, I need some maintenance done on my ED80, and so he's gonna teach me how to. One of our employees in QC is gonna teach me how to do some things to it, and so I've got some learning to do, which I'm okay with. I mean, I want to learn how to do it. So
Annie, pretty soon you're just going to be like weaving astrophotographer lingo into everyday conversations. They'll say, "Well, how's the weather, Annie? How are your kids?" And you'll go, "Well, my image train." You started off like that.
Oh my gosh.
It all works out. It all works out.
No, but be like, what?
I'm very impressed, Annie, because many people who work in customer service, I had when I worked at Mead, I worked there for about 21 years, and I probably worked with maybe 40 or 50 customer service people. Very few of them actually take their work home. Okay. What I mean by that, become amateur astronomers, and very few real amateur astronomers join up as customer service people at telescope companies. You think it'd be a dream job.
Yeah.
And it kind of is, but usually you find that someone is doing something totally different. Maybe they're, who knows what, a dentist, they work, they're an accountant, or working in a department store somewhere, and their lifestyle is astronomy, but to be in a telescope company and making this part of your lifestyle is very cool. So.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because the calendar you gave me of the women astrophotographers.
That's all women astrophotographers, right?
It was funny because after I did this, after I took these photos and just saw what my 2007 Canon camera could do, I thought, okay, this really makes me think about what type of telescope I want and what I want to do. And so I started showing Tyler a telescope that I wanted that's pictured in that calendar. And
and if you haven't seen the calendar, this is it. Okay, it's the Astronomical League 2022 calendar.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
Yeah.
Astrophotography in here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the August.
Yeah.
Cover there, and that's by, who is that by? Sarah McAllister.
Mhm.
Yeah, from BA Sidewalk Astronomers. That's actually out here in Oklahoma. So
yeah. So that really proves, it really just kind of ignited something in me, and I started thinking about what I wanted, if I wanted a telescope and a mount like what you have behind you, Scott, or if I wanted something lightweight that I could just take and go with. And so I really just decided I want something tiny. And so I started showing Tyler what I wanted. And so he started telling what type of telescopes they were and things like that. So I'm looking at the future, not just now,
Very cool.
So it's pretty cool. What?
You've been bit.
Tyler says I've been bit. He said, Tyler,
it's like leaning in on your artificial background, so you kind of like popped in and out like a ghost or something.
Gosh, you need to just tell him next time he needs to come on the show if he wants that much attention.
Oh boy. So, anyways, I think that's totally cool.
Yeah.
I think that's totally cool, and I hope that you are in one of these calendars pretty soon.
I would love it. It'd be amazing. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes me want to. It makes you want to get closer, and it's nice to ignite that passion, and also in my son, because whenever I told him what that was, and I went on the web and I looked up pictures of the Orion's Nebula and showed it to him, and he was just amazed. He's like, "What is that made out of, Mommy?" And so it just starts these conversations, cool. And so it's really neat at 5 years old to be able to ignite some enthusiasm into the sky. And so it is really neat. It is really neat. So, but yeah. So that's what's going on with me. What's going on with me.
Awesome.
So.
That's big. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you're shooting an object that's almost 1,800 light years away,
See,
and it's a nursery of newborn stars. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. It is really, really neat. And now I'm looking more at the sky like, oh my gosh, it's so clear. And then I realized, oh, my telescope's still at work.
Yes. Okay. So somebody wanted to know where to buy the 2022 calendar. I'm about to post the link where you can get one. It's from the Astronomical League. Here we go. And there you are. And let me know if that link works or not, but it should take you straight to the page where you can buy one. And they have it on sale. It was $13 and now it's only $9. So it's a pretty good deal.
It's a really good deal. It's a really good deal. So.
Yeah, it's now missing 1 month of the year, but you can still look at the image, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It is really, really cool. So, but that's what's kind of going on with me and then the Alliance. And so
the Alliance is still growing. We had a show, just yesterday with Jerry Hubble, and he was telling us how many new people had joined the Open Go-To community, which is part of the Alliance as well. And so that's wonderful. And so if you guys are, and Explore Scientific and Explore Alliance are both going to be celebrating this Galileo birthday celebration. You're going to learn some stuff, I think, from our presenters about Galileo that will blow you away. And so, I always kind of like the weird, quirky side of people's characters, so, and Galileo's got lots of them. So anyhow,
If you met him, what would be the one question you would ask him? If you could ask him one question.
oh, I mean, right off the top, the question would be, can I look through your telescope? That would just be it right off the top. Because I have looked through what are supposedly replicas, and I mean, down to the optical design that he made. Okay.
Mhm.
His telescope was so hard to look through. Okay. Now think about this. He doesn't have any way to track the stars. His
Mhm.
field of view, when you look through, we make all these wide field eyepieces and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But his field of view was like, I mean, it had to be like an apparent field of around 20 degrees or less. So it looks like
Wow.
you're looking down a straw or like a thin pipe, okay,
Yeah.
at the sky. And the telescope's mounted, well, you see drawings and stuff of how it's mounted, where it's just like on a table and it's got some altitude. And I guess you would just twist the whole thing for azimuth adjustment. But as soon as you got Jupiter in the field of view, it was at 30 power, 30 magnification, okay? It would stay in the eyepiece for a little while, but not for a long time. So you had to be good at aiming. You had to be really good at moving this thing, okay? And I know that Galileo gave star parties. He lived in Pisa, if that's how you pronounce it, in Florence. And in Florence, he gave star parties for, I think there were people of certain stature,
Yeah.
right? Like the Medici family, and because he's always trying to get in good graces with the Medici family. But he was showing lawyers how this worked. And from what I understand, although his telescope had more magnification than the spyglasses that were being made in the past, they were like maybe 8 power or 9 power, something like that. His was 30. Okay. So he had a lot more magnification going on. And so that he had in his hands the world's most powerful telescope at the time. And so he observes the moons going around Jupiter. He sees craters on the moon. He may not be the very first guy to see craters on the moon, but he's credited with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So there were other guys, all right, that
Yeah.
did it around the same time, and maybe even before him. But it still would have been a blast to say, yeah, Galileo himself showed me through his telescope,
Mhm.
so.
That'd be cool.
But very difficult to use, very difficult, so kind of beautiful, they were, these tubes were kind of a little ornate, and
Do you
he was
think,
trying to sell them to the military. That was the real deal. He thought, okay, if I'm, getting a good word from the Medici family, with the government, I'll sell these to the military, and, it couldn't hurt to have a couple extra
yeah,
dollars, in your pocket. But he made a huge dent in science and astronomy and all of that, and it's still being felt today. So there you go. So that's what I would
That's
ask.
cool.
What would you ask him?
I don't know. Honestly don't know what I would ask him.
Maybe put your iPhone up to the eyepiece and take a picture.
No, I don't think I'd have to really think about it for a while. I don't know what I would ask him. Like, I think I have to do
All
some
right,
more
from
research.
the audience, if you could meet Galileo, okay, in the day, knowing what you know now, what would you ask him? Let's see what they come up with.
I think I would have to ask him, like, what did he think the first time he looked through, he actually looked through his telescope and saw what he saw.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he would have been all like, well, I knew it was going to be something, or if he was just you know, flabbergasted. I think he was flabbergasted.
Jim Astro says, what kind of wine do you drink?
I'll bet it wasn't very good. You know, it's probably stuff they've been keeping around the barn for a few years or something. I don't know. Did they master winemaking by that time? Maybe they did.
I think they're still trying to master making wine, aren't they?
Well, yeah. And it was only about 450 years ago. So they've been making that stuff for a long time. That's true.
Mhm.
The dad frequency says, I would ask him, this is what telescope I have. So what do I need next? You could have bought one from Galileo. You
Yeah.
actually could. Eduardo says, do you think those marks on Mars were actually canals? I don't know what he could have seen with it. Eduardo, I will tell you that the optical quality of his telescope was, by today's standards, pretty bad. Okay. I think it's great that he got image, you know, he could see craters on the moon, that he could see the moons around Jupiter and stuff, but I don't think he got a lot of detail because his drawings of Saturn, he was describing a planet with ears, you know, so he couldn't tell it was like a ring going around the planet. It just looked like these two little, you know, pointy things coming out, you know.
I wonder if he thought, is that listening to me?
What's that?
I said, I wonder if he thought, is that listening?
Is
to
that
me?
listening to me? I don't know what he was thinking. Depends on how many glasses of wine he had that night.
Oh, yes. And if it was heavy wine, like Beatrice says.
Rex says, I will ask him, do you know pizza?
Oh,
Yes, pizza. Yeah, but no, it would have been cool. I would have had to ask him if I could look through his telescope, though. And then I'd want to meet the Medici family myself, you know. That might have been a little intimidating, though. Those guys swaggered back in those days.
Not using the word swaggered. Wow.
Swagger, yeah. And the, you know, this was also when he was alive, the Inquisition's going on. So
Oh, wow.
kind of careful about what you would say, or, you know, for instance, I wouldn't bring a watch with me, you know, or like an iPhone, you know, because they probably would have burnt me at the stake. Like Giordano Bruno, that guy, he burned at the stake. That was terrible. And so Galileo, okay, he gets kind of his hands slapped when he does his first book. Okay. And they say, okay, look, recant what you said, you know, and you know, be a follow what we tell you to follow, basically. Okay. And so about 15 or 20 years goes by, and he writes a second book. And the second book is taking the two theories, okay? The one theory that everything revolves around the earth, and the other theory that we revolve around the sun. And he was comparing theories, okay? And he claimed that he was being neutral about it, but everybody, you know, it's plain to see that he was trying to put forth his the theory that that we went around the sun, which of course is the correct theory, but that's what got him in trouble. And he was, I guess, 70 or so years old at the time, and he was, I think, threatened with torture. You know, so that's when he really kind of,
Eduardo says he was excommunicated and locked in a tower.
I don't know, you know, it says house arrest. Was it, did he have a tower? I don't know.
Did he have a
Maybe.
tower in his house? Maybe.
Jim says, and went blind staring at the sun. Hey,
we were actually had this you and I one day, Scott, had this conversation, and you Googled that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And
We figured out that it, that
he didn't actually go blind. That's kind of a, that's a myth
Mhm.
that he went blind. But he did see sunspots. Now, how he did it safely, I don't know. I'd have to research that a little bit more. Jim
That's
Norwood
interesting.
says, I would ask Galileo, didn't Copernicus already say that? Yeah. Remember, this was the Inquisition time, so, and the
Is that
Medici
considered-
family could just say, get rid of that guy.
If
So
you're rewriting something that somebody else wrote, isn't that considered
Plagiarism?
plagiarism?
Maybe they didn't have that figured out by that time. I don't know. There are questions though. There are questions about, for a long time. I mean, as a kid, I grew up learning that Galileo invented the telescope. We now know he didn't invent the telescope. Okay. The telescope was first built like a spyglass, low power, but still basic principles are there. There are questions as to whether or not Galileo knew enough about optics to make it high power.
Oh.
Even that, okay. It looks like there's some academics that believe that he had help from certain individuals, where they study the letters that are being written, and sometimes these letters are written so that you can't really, they were meant to be secret letters, so I don't know if they were written in code or,
Invisible ink.
I don't know. Galileo would have been smart enough to do that, but
And then you hold it over your candle, that
oh yeah,
lights
hold
are
over
out.
the candle,
Yeah.
catch it on fire. It might like go like flash paper, so
Mhm.
yeah. Jim says, I grew up hearing Henry Ford invented the car. Well, Carl Benz might not agree with him. That's right. Carl Benz and his, I think that he's the first guy to make the production car. There might have been other people though, just inventors making stuff, but I like the story about Carl Benz's wife taking the first cross-country trip in the car. She steals one of his cars.
Really?
Yeah, she just goes up there and unloads one of them off the train or whatever. And, he's going to take him into town to the new Mercedes-Benz dealership that he's opened, and she piles her sons into this thing. Okay. And they drive a pretty far distance to go see grandma. Yeah. And so she gets there and they have, there's a lot of publicity about it, but it's very cool. And they have, we digress here. We're talking about cars versus astronomy, but we'll just say that such people, were bold, and Galileo was certainly one of those bold people. So
yeah. Well, I think you have to be. I mean, you have to have enough umption to get out there and do what you want to do, and just sitting around and is not going to get you anywhere. So
that's right.
So
life's short,
yeah.
folks. So
it is very short. So it goes by quickly.
That's right.
So
and Tarek says, and don't forget, we didn't talk about one area of the world. So that time of Galileo, they already suppressed him in another place, but wasn't recorded. Oh, I'm sure. So I think that's it for right now. We've got Galileo birthday coming up February 15th. We've got our next global star party will be next Tuesday. Okay. So I got 3 global star parties planned already. We are working on our Arizona Dark Sky Star Party. We're preparing for Northeast Astronomy Forum, which should still be a happening. We'll update you as that goes along. And We have our astrophotography contest. We've got people who are newbies to the PMC8 world. So if you are, and you're listening to this, you're going to want to jump on explorescientific.com/PMC8 and join the forum, okay? So that you can get the best out of your PMC8 system.
Yeah.
And we have door prizes. We've got, we have awards that we're working with the Astronomical League on. That would be the National Young Astronomers Award, the Leslie Peltier Award, and the Wilhelmina Fleming Award, which is an astrophotography award for women only. So we
Wow.
are the official underwriters for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
and there's so much more, but we'll have to leave that for another show. And
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Kent will be joining us next week, and
And
or
don't-
maybe tomorrow.
Yeah,
with-
tomorrow,
on the
tomorrow
wings.
on the wing, we'll see if we can, we'll see what his schedule is like. I don't know. I haven't seen him today. And then don't forget the astrophotography contest. If you've got meteor
Right.
pictures, submit them. So yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
yep. So
Let's see. Eduardo Simon says, just got the email from Jerry for the beta testing on the new firmware. He's talking about the PMC8. So yeah, Eduardo, let us know how it goes. That's very cool. Okay. Until that time, think good thoughts about Galileo and keep looking up, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.